All right, so now we're ready to raise the wall. Now we're waiting for Jack to show up so we can put it up. I'm going to get the wall ready. Now what happens is we're going to essentially just take this wall and then tilt it straight up. That's fine in a perfect world, but you got to take a couple things into precaution. One, we got an edge right here, and this wall could just fall right off the edge, and then all the work's gone to nothing. What you want to do is put up little blocking pieces. That you cut some scrap 2x4. You want to pre-nail it.
All right, the moment we all have been waiting for, raising a wall. Okay, there's a couple things you want to do before you raise a wall. You want to put a couple of blocks nailed onto your outside rim joists that are protruding up, and you nail them in pretty decently, because as you're sliding your wall. But I talk about it better. You want to have them sticking up high enough, and you want them to be there solid, so as you slide the wall over, you don't slide the wall off the platform. Platform.
You say you said it better than me?
Okay, anyway, the second thing you want to do is you want to put these braces on. You'll see that these braces move up and down, and they're going to just slide down for us as we lift up the wall, so it'll give us a ready piece of brace that we can just put a nail into. Matter of fact, we can just we can start a nail in that, so as we come over and we lift the wall up. Great, Mark. As we lift the wall up, that will dangle, and we will be able to just nail it into this rim joist. Now our wall's a little bit too far that way, so we're just going to pull the wall down a bit. Okay. And then what we do is we put a block like this next to your plate. You stick your hammer into the plate, lift up, and now you have space to lift the wall up. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll have at least 2 people on this wall. This wall doesn't have a whole bunch in it, so it's probably not that heavy. We're going to go up with it fairly quickly as we slide it up against our blocks. Always remember, use your legs, not your back. So bend your legs first, and then just use your legs. 1, 2, 3. Now what we'll do is we'll tap it over to our line, and one of us will hold it. Mark, you're leaning out a little bit. There you go. Go ahead and kick it over to the line. Okay, I'll hold on to it. Lift up your brace. There you go. All right. Now what Mark's going to do is he's going to measure from the end of the wall to his line and make sure that we have 3.5 inches from the end of the wall we just picked up to the line coming down from the wall to make sure that our wall's in the right place. Okay, then what we'll do next, before we get going too far, is I'll just tilt the wall out a little bit, and Mark will go ahead and nail that brace in. Okay, and I'll do the same thing over here. Mark, tell me when the wall's out a little bit, leaning out.
Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, a little bit more. Good.
Okay, get a wall on our line. Excuse me, I don't want to hit you. And we'll just keep knocking our plate over until we have 3.5 inches. And we'll check that on this side as well. Looks like we went just a tad too far. That looks great. Okay, then what I'll do is I'll just move this over to the line. And when I go to put my nail in, there's two things that I want to bear in mind. I know I have a rim joist out there that I can nail into. And I know I have joists along the way that we've come across with. So what I'll do is I'll either look for a joist to nail into, or I'll look for the rim joist. And I'll put one bay, I'll put one nail in each bay. We should use galvanized because we're nailing into the pressure treated material that we use for floor joists and rim joists. And I'm making sure that I'm on my line before I nail any of my nails. Now when I nailed my brace, I made sure the wall was tilting out a bit. I do that so when I build this wall across here and I stand it up, I won't be bumping into this wall. It'll have a nice big free space to go. And the brace is nice because this wall that tilts up this way will just line up against this brace. So the next wall we'll build is the far wall over here because it's a full-length wall. And then we'll build the two inside walls and tilt them up this way. All right, we got up our second wall. This is nice. We're starting to see things happen. On this wall over here, what we did is we put in a full-length header. You'll notice over here we put in higher headers that are a little higher than our 4x12 over there. These are smaller, so it's going to raise our windows up. We did that because these are just little casement windows that are only about this big, and they open up like this. And so it's just for cross ventilation. From those windows to these windows, it can get hot around here, so it's nice to have a little cross ventilation. And so this is an option for you. If you want to have a window up a little bit higher, you can put in a smaller header as long as it's not too long, and you can get those windows out of the way. It's nice because it still leaves a lot of wall space for you. You can hang pictures, you can do whatever you like. But again, we'll build out these windows now that they're stood up. It's very easy to measure down, mark, and then mark for our double plate for the top of our windows, and then we'll just follow our layout that's on our plate. So we'll do that when we come back. All right, I stopped for a second here because I wanted to remind you that you always want to put your header in first and get your king studs in right away, because I'm in a situation here where now we're a little crowded, and I was about to put in this end stud in first because I was going to just march down and put in my studs. Well, if I put that stud in, then it'd be really tough for me to do my end nailing into the header. So you kind of have to do the headers first and kind of think it through. You want to make sure that you get that header all nailed off perfectly so the inspector's happy, and then go ahead and do your studs. Here's another thing. You can use a bent stud like this, and you see how it's bowed a little bit like this. You can use that at the end of the wall and make sure that you put the bow into the wall. What it'll do strangely enough, is it will stay away from this wall, and when you go to nail it, the tension as you nail it will tighten the wall up a little bit. All right, so we have 3 walls up. About probably going to get our last wall up, and it's already taken a good shape. So we're gonna have to stand this wall up, and we'll be getting close. Then what we'll do after we get our walls up is we'll put our double plates on, and that will hold the whole structure together. And we'll talk about that and when we get there. And then we'll come back and we'll do a little bit of pickup, which is framing out the windows and doing any extra work that we need to do. Then we'll plumb and line, and that's getting the building square and stable. And then we'll go ahead and start working on the roof.
Not even a full day for a full frame job. Jack was in
I
and
wouldn't
out.
say that. We're not done with the roof, Mark.
Not even a full day for a full wall framing job. No
There
proof
you
yet.
go.
Jack had to go and do a couple little appointments, little things he had to do today.
But I came back,
Yep.
and we want to thank Keenan for being here all day from 7 o'clock.
And Audrey, come on over here, Audrey.
And Audrey was a big help.
Cleaning up. Come and say hello.
Come on. Audrey's been helping cleaning up and working hard. And here she is. She's our best helper of the whole day.
Say hello, Audrey.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Jack. Great job.
Thanks, Mark. See ya.
Home Improvement Camp. Have at it.